Ladies, this is it. We've done 6 weeks together. And this is kind of the wrap up, but it is really it's just something that carries on for people, the things that we've learned, maybe wanting to revisit some of the things we've done. This is really just kind of a little bonus week. We each of us has taught 1 week. This is a Q&A. We'll just kind of see where it goes, see what questions everybody has, and even some of the facilitators might have questions for the other facilitators, and I think some of the ladies even have a few frequently asked questions that they can address if people don't have specific questions. So let's just crack it open. We'll be here for 30-40 minutes. It doesn't need to be an hour. So we just wanted to start off and see if there's any burning questions or anything that came in for anyone, whether it's clarification or even proclamation.
So maybe what we could also do is if we kind of go in that order a little bit as well. So Jo, if you remember a little review of what you brought into it, and that might also spark some questions and reflections on the journey we've been on this month as well.
Yeah, perfect. That's perfect. I mean, week one was all about rebirthing, wasn't it? And I don't know if you can remember right back that far, but we're always rebirthing. I don't know, for me, I've just obviously moved country and I'm going through a massive rebirth right now, and it hasn't been very pretty. It's exhausting. Sometimes it's beautiful, sometimes it's exhausting. But it's something that's to embrace over and over again, because we know it's where our biggest growth is, when we're rebirthing, and we have to let go to rebirth. So I've had to let go of a whole lot of old identities. I realized I held on to a lot of stuff in New Zealand, the personal trainer, all my clients, my familiarity, being a mum even, all my 4 children are back over in New Zealand. I'm still in the process of letting go of those identities, which are still part of me, but then they were never me. Our soul, it's our essence, it's who we are. And when we're rebirthing, I think we're rebirthing to a closer version of who we were born to be. And I think it's a process. And when we're tired, to rest, when we feel inspired to do things, but also, not just, to push ourselves out of our comfort zone as well, to know when the right time to do that is, when the right time to have our little pep talk with ourselves is, come on, we've got to pull our pants up, we've got to do X, Y, and Z, but not to just go for the sake of going. This rebirth process, when you think about the butterfly and the chrysalis, it turns to goo. And then it emerges as a beautiful flapping butterfly. And I think we go through this process over and over again. And it doesn't necessarily get easier, but we just become more aware and familiar and comfortable in the discomfort. So as I'm talking, I'm just putting it out there, does anybody have any thoughts about this? Does anybody have any questions, any difficulties with this process that we can help you with right now?
Yeah, I suppose I've been going through quite a lot of rebirthing as well, but it's also in the midst of things, and it's hard moving on when you are still in the midst of bits and pieces. My husband's sold a property he owns in north of Auckland that's been on the market for 18 months, and finally it's settling in 2 weeks, so we're busy trying to find new homes for things and just sort of going through. We don't actually need 10 queen size bed duvet inners when we're now only going to have 2 beds that fit them. And but there's so many of them, they're silk and they're duck down, and it's really hard letting them go or deciding which ones to keep. And then we've also bought a property near Noosa, and that's where we want to be, maybe not immediately, but in our retirement. And so we've been sort of furnishing that and deciding what to take, and it's really, really hard.
It is
yeah.
hard. It is hard. I've just literally, I think I've downsized from everything we owned as a couple, Steve and I. I think we've downsized by 2/3. So we've got a third of the things we once had. And even that's too much actually when I look at
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah.
When I look at it, but and I'm not downplaying it, it's difficult and it's hard, but I think it's hard because the stories we tell ourselves, like we say things like, oh, that cost me $500. I can't let go of that. But when we actually bring everything back to energy, you know, I remember I was selling a lot of things as well, you know, and I was like, oh, well, we want such and such because we paid such and such for it. Again, it's a story. It's a story. Everything is just a story. Everything is energy. I ended up giving away so much stuff, and I know that I will get it back. Not necessarily in belongings and things, but I get it back in beautiful energy. You know, my beautiful neighbours just invited us round the other night for drinks, and sometimes the Aussies can be a little bit standoffish. But you know, they invited us over, and that's beautiful energy that I got returned back to me. So I think really analysing the stories we tell ourselves, you know, you don't need 10 silk duvet inners and things like that and whatnot. But I think we have these things, oh, you know, I paid that, and or this, I've got this story attached to it. And actually, why do we have all of these stories attached to things? And I think Nat just wrote something, if it lights you up, I always say, I either need it badly or want it madly. Need it badly or want it madly. Because that's such a great term to use, and to declutter and to get rid of the noise. Because, you know, we look at things and go, oh, but what if I need this for such and such? What if? Get rid of the what ifs. They clutter us. We feel lighter, we feel brighter, but it is in the decisions, all these tiny little decisions. I actually think the tiny decisions clutter us the most. And if you think about it as well, if you've got 10 duvets or 10 pillowcases, sometimes it's a big choice, which one do I put on? But if you've only got 2, it's this one or this one. Do I put this one on or this one? And actually our whole life becomes way clearer. So when we think about it in those exciting terms and get rid of the stories and think about everything just as energy, it's much easier to make the decisions.
Yeah, but what about books?
Again, but books have, you know, I write in my books, I take notes in books, but I think, oh yeah, I'll need that again one day. And I actually look at them and I go, have I looked at that in the last year? And if I haven't looked at it the last year, am I ready to let it go? Do I need it badly? Do I want it madly? Am I ready to let it go? And you put it next to your heart, your body knows. Use kinesiology. Put it next to your heart and see if you rock forward or if you rock backwards. I know there's a lot of things, but you know, the more things you take with you, the heavier your life is.
Okay.
So, and remember, when we are going through these stages as well, I believe a lot of the time we're in survival. We're not always thriving. So when we are doing this, look for those, take those pockets of time in the day, these moments of magic, if you can, to bring yourself back to calm. Bring yourself back to being embodied rather than out here, because when we're making tons of decisions, we're often disassociated, or not even dissociated, we're just out here somewhere, or we're fragmented. So come back to these moments of magic throughout the day where you can bring in some joy, even if it's just breathing for 5 minutes, meditating for 5 minutes, going outside and placing your feet on the grass or on the sand for 5 minutes, to come back and to calm the nervous system. And then we can get better mental clarity as well when we're making decisions. Be kind to yourself, be compassionate, honor yourself, do all of these things at the time, and it makes the survival process less sticky, and we can have moments of joy. I hope that helped a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
If it's okay, Wendy, I'd love to layer something in from my week that absolutely resonates with Joe's, and I love the fluidity of that. So remember, I talked about human design briefly, ladies. Like, I talked about archetypes, but then later I gave you all the homework of finding your human design. And so often, if you are feeling, like Joe said, we're kind of in survival mode. If you're feeling frustrated, then it's an indication that you're out of alignment, and it's time to ask yourself, where am I saying yes when I really mean no? And it's also a time to say, have I done Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Food, water, shelter. Like, have I eaten? Am I dehydrated, or am I like really uncomfortable, like cold right now? So for the manifesting generators and manifestors, it will show up as frustration. For the projectors, which I don't think there were any, it will show up as resentment. So if you find yourself being bitter and resentful, why am I the one that always has to sort the books and decide what, that is resentment. Whereas frustration is more like, damn it, or swearing, or like throwing or slamming the door. Maybe not quite so blatant, but you know what I mean? They're slightly different, but it's the same thing. Okay, where am I saying yes when I really mean no? Have I eaten today? Am I cold or something? Do I need hydration? And then Joe's saying, go and ground yourself, have a break. That's exactly it. But if you don't know when, it usually comes out in frustration or resentment, depending on your human design type.
Very much so. Anger, bitterness, I agree.
And I think it's
so,
also about
ladies-
like allowing those flows as well. I noticed for myself, I know I have these cycles, like these 3-year cycles, and it's always like, okay, I'm starting my next 3-year cycle right now. And now that I kind of know that, okay, this is the beginning of that cycle of this next phase. So there isn't as much like, why is it clunky? Why is it, it's like this knowing that this is the clunky phase until I find my rhythm again. And so then there's like this ease in it, and the transition and the move is quite quick. And I think when we look back over our lives and see phases and cycles, and everybody has different cycles, but when we look back, you actually see we all have cycles. And so when we can recognize that, then the release factor of it is much easier, because we can actually embrace the fact that I'm in the starting a next cycle, and there's cycles within cycles, but there's just this surrender to it, or this allowing, or this presence to it, this presence to what's going on. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I agree. Before we move on, ladies, on after rebirth, I know Karen's not here, so she can't do hers. But is there any other questions about rebirthing and going through this process before we hand over?
I'd just like to say, Joanne, with your stuff, and you've just hit home with me again with your, what do you call it? 5 moments of magic, or 5 minutes?
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Yeah, 5 times 5. We call it moments of magic.
I am so aware that I don't do that. So after your talk, I was like, I am taking that on. That is so easy. And what I'm present to is that it so was not. And so what showed up since your chat, because then there was Natalie's chat and other, that I don't do that. So when Natalie was talking about the human design and what
Nurturing, self-nurturing.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to take on Joanne's stuff. I'm going to do 5, blah, 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 blah. I didn't. I did 3, I did 2, I did 3, I did 4, I did 1. And then Natalie did her talk, and I was like, yeah, I'm a motivator and I'm a nurturer for other people. So I don't do that for myself. I don't nurture myself. I will put other people before me. I am much happier if I'm being of service to anybody else. So I'm not being a martyr if I give up what I have planned for myself, because if I come sweep your deck instead of wash my clothes, I am so much happier that I've washed your clothes. Like, yeah.
And but there's being happy, being of service. And I hear what you're saying, and that's a beautiful thing, because you're born nurturer, you're a born caregiver. However, if you don't stay replenished, then you cannot show up 100% to do that role. And I know that because that's my role also in life. However, that's when Natalie's then talking about this bitterness or resentment falling in, because then we can become either really tired or really exhausted, or we can become sick when we're not doing this. And these 5 moments of magic is not taken away from anybody else. It's so you can show up in your full force. And of course it's going to be alien, because you've never done it before. You've never done it before. You've always put yourself on the line for everybody else, and now you are programmed to do that, and therefore you are programmed for that to be your happier place. And I'm not taking away from you saying that's not what you're here to do, but it is patterning, and it is programming, and it is conditioning, and so it's gonna feel really clunky, it's gonna feel really alien to do it. And we know it takes 21 days to become something, to become a new habit. It often takes a wee bit longer than that, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to make these things part of our lifestyle. The way you brush your teeth in the morning, the way you have a shower, the way you take yourself for a wee, these are things you don't even think about because they're part of your lifestyle. So the 5 times 5, and even if to begin with you just do 3 times 5, that's 15 minutes a day.
I didn't know 3 times 5 was an option.
Well, it's not really. I'm trying to be kind to you. So I'm trying to say,
I know.
start doing it small. Start doing it so it's manageable, because when we also make promises to ourselves saying, oh, I'm going to do that, and then we don't, we then lose trust within ourselves.
Yeah.
And so if you say, okay, well, I'm going to do this 3 times 5, and it's not to do 15 minutes all at one go. It's to do 5 minutes at 10 a.m., 5 minutes at 12 p.m., and 5 minutes at 2 p.m. And if you've taken those 3 times 5, and then if you could do 5 times 5 throughout the day, you are replenished. You are self-nurturing. You are self-honoring. What do I need right now? And then the more you do it, the more you'll find you don't necessarily need to take these 5 times 5 times 5, because you just do it automatically through your day. Like now I will go for a walk on the beach. I will go and have a cup of tea. I will take myself on the deck and just sit quietly for a few minutes. I will go and stand outside randomly and just look at the sky. And I'm not thinking about it anymore, but it's something I do. But I know that when I'm in survival mode, like when I've been packing up my house over the last few weeks, haven't done it so much, felt depleted, totally exhausted.
Yep.
So it's just to learn to self-honor.
Yeah. And your talk on your day, Joanne and Natalie, well, your talk hit home, and I was like, I'm so gonna do that. And then I didn't achieve that a lot of the time. I achieved some of that. And then Natalie's talk, I don't know my time of birth. I can't remember it, Natalie, so I'm gonna figure that out, and then I'll follow your thing through. But then getting that I'm a motivator and I'm a nurturer, but
And you're a truth teller, remember?
For other people, not for myself. So I don't motivate myself, and I don't nurture myself. That was a wake-up call. So the penny is dropping. I don't know that it's dropped. It's dropping. But thanks to you, Joanne, and you, Natalie, it will be dropping. I'm going to get that time of fucking birth and get that.
You're a manifesting generator, probably, or a manifester.
I know you think that, and I'm like, come on.
Julie, if I can give you one question, if I can give you one thing just to say to yourself each day, then put your hand on your heart and say, what do I need today? Ask yourself that question. Put your hand on your heart and say, what do I need today?
That is literally
we can all do that now.
I've taken on doing from your talk, Joanne. Actually, I was just going, where did that land from? I'm doing that from your talk.
Yeah.
Because I shared this with Natalie, I would always use my motivation and my drive to get to somewhere and to do something. And if I didn't have to, I have to get to what's my to-do list. If I could just nudge, where do I want to go next? And use my motivation from there, that's very different. And somewhere between you, Joanne, and you, Natalie, I've now got this new struggle. Thank you very much.
Do you know what I can see in you, Julia? You are an absolute goddess, but you are not aligned with your goddess energy. You are in your masculine, you are in your go, go, go. And even when you are nurturing, you think that is the divine feminine. It is not.
Yeah.
Because it's not coming from the place of flow and divinity.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to cut the crap.
That's her truth teller coming out.
Sessions
I
now.
love the cut the crap, Joe. Go for it.
You are a goddess. You come across, I've seen you at our live event, and you have got this huge goddess energy, but you are not attached to you are not aligned with your goddess energy. You and I are going to have a chat tomorrow about this.
And in the meantime, I know Kerry needs to get going. So so we've only got a little bit of time with Kerry. So let's jump to Kerry. If you have an opportunity to just kind of reflect on what your sharing was, and then so just as a reminder so that we can really get a little bit more wisdom and maybe some questions.
Cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, ladies, it's amazing that we've come to the end of this as well. So hopefully there were little gold nuggets along the way. But I was all about revitalizing and coming back into your full vitality. And for me, it's re-energizing at a cellular level. So, so it really is putting yourself first. That's really it. So, you know, Susan's asked the question there, how do we make ourselves a priority? How do you put ourselves, because if you don't recharge your battery, how do you give to others? How do you give the fullness of you to others if you're not recharging you? So it's kind of like you're only giving half of you, or you're only giving a quarter of you to other people in your life who you in service to. So it is a huge priority that you put yourself first, because in putting yourself first, you're able to fully give yourself to the people that surround you, that you want to give to. And so, you know, it's not actually a debate there anymore. It's about how do you make sure that your energy is revitalized? How do you do that? And is it hydration? Is it movement? Is it clean eating? Is it meditating? Is it grounding? Is it, you know, going for a walk on the beach? What is it for you? What do you need for you so that you actually feel alive? And I think a big thing is people forget that these beautiful human bodies that we're in, they heal themselves. They re-energize themselves. They were made to heal. So every day we're healing ourselves, every single day. But you can't heal yourself if you put rubbish in here and rubbish in there. Then you can't re-energize. So what are your thoughts and what are your toxins? And it is about actually stripping back and going, right, I want the fullness out of my life. I want to experience the best life possible with the full energy possible. Do you know that 2 months ago, I was not exercising? Yesterday, I played 6 hours of paddle. I did 3 competitions, and I was kind of like, this body of ours wants to be pushed. It wants to live life to the fullest. So are we preparing it for that? So yes, I did 2 months of exercise. I did 2 months of clean eating. I did fasting. I did hydration. I was like preparing. And today I did a massage. So it's like, how do you nurture yourself after you've pushed yourself a little bit further than what you thought you could go? But really, I think it is about prioritizing yourself, really re-energizing you so that you can give more of you to the world. So, so it's not negotiable anymore. You ladies have to put yourselves first. You've really got to put yourselves first. And I just want to keep reminding you of putting yourselves first so that you've got more of you to give. You've got more of you in, you know, in service to others. So, so yes.
I love that. And I love the idea of the overflow because, you know, like there's so much out there with abundance as well, right? When we're talking about financial abundance. And the thing about that is like people have these belief systems in all these different areas, including abundance, but also their health and well-being, and also their nurturing and giving. And what does that mean? And we can't give from an empty cup. And so if we have this overflow of everything, then it's effortless, right? It's like we have this overflow of love, this overflow of vitality. You know, we can go and do a 6-hour event because we've built up the physical energy, the mitochondria, like with all your preparation, you got that overflow. It was easy. And so then when we do have high vitality and we have, you know, a clear mindset and we have enough time, like we're overflow in time, then nothing comes from depletion. And it's easy. And then it is easy to say yes to people and to care for people and to love each other. But imagine if everybody's feeling that way, there's less of that needed anyway, because everybody's in overflow. So yeah, it's a great visual as well.
Yeah. I think all of you have such magical gifts. You all do. And because we're all unique. So, you know, are you showing up in the world as the best version of you? Are you living your best life? And how do you do that if you're not re-energizing yourself every day? If you're not taking care of you every day? If you're not putting you first every day? So, so ladies, yeah, put yourself first. Yeah, Julia, yeah. I think that's really what I was saying, is put yourself, you know, first. So I think I only read that after I said it again. So yes, you are important, or every single one of you is like super important in your own lives. And it's really important to remember to love you before you shine that out. Just, you know, love you. Yeah.
Carrie's got 1 minute. Does anyone have any questions? Or commitments you want to make to yourself, maybe?
Yeah.
I think she should just repeat again what she just said, that we have to look after ourselves first. I'm so crap at that. I look
Yeah.
after everybody else.
Yeah.
Got
And
You can
a
say,
lot
I
of us
used to
do
be
that.
so crap at that.
Yeah.
to be so crap at that.
Yeah.
Carrie, you're gonna
Those
in
were
the
the
next
days.
20 seconds say something amazing that
Yeah.
has that shift for me. Off you go.
No, but you know what the crazy thing is, Julie, you're not alone. We are nurturers. We are women. That's our makeup. Our normal makeup is nurturers. And so we want to give. We want to give. But I tell you now, it's energy is two ways. It's giving and receiving. It's giving and receiving. And so if you give, are you standing in a place of receiving? And so, you know, receiving is receiving from yourself, but receiving is receiving from others around you to support you. Because when you allow others to support you, you're giving them the gift of giving. They can then give, and you're giving them the gift. So don't say no to people that want to cook for you, or clean for you, or do your washing for you, or sweep the
Sweep
deck
your
for
deck.
you. Yeah. Don't say no and no, I can do it. No. Don't be that person that can do everything. It's like really stand and thank you for offering. I would really appreciate if you could do my washing for me. I would really appreciate if you could cook for me. That would be really amazing if you could take the reins and I didn't have to do everything. And then in that, it's amazing because you allow them to give. And it's a beautiful gift. It's a beautiful gift. So
The more I hear you talk, Julia, the more I think you might be a generator. Go, 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 do, help all the people. Either that or a manifesting generator, but your generator is running the show and we need to just bring your manifester up. I'm not sure. We'll find out.
Yeah. I just need to get that time of birth that I can't remember.
Mm.
And when somebody just did the human design thing, and then they looked at my time of birth and they were like, well, that works, that doesn't. So I was like, I need to get accurate on that. And then I will forward that through.
awesome. Well, thank you, ladies. It was just such a pleasure being part of this journey, and continue being amazing. Just amazing.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks,
Girl.
Carrie.
Thank
for your time,
you.
Carrie. Thank you.
Girl. Bye.
Very
right,
good.
Wendy, your
Yeah.
turn.
So I think one thing that is relevant to reflect on is what I shared in my week was about realignment. And that's really good sort of reflection as what we've just been talking about, because what we were saying about being in alignment, what does it mean to be in alignment? What are we in alignment with? You know, what does like alignment mean to you? So reflecting back on even just the concept of what does alignment mean, what are some of your concepts? What are some of your thoughts around what do you know alignment to be? Julia, what does it mean to
It's
you?
always me. Karen says it's always me. To be in alignment, to be at peace, to be at ease. Obviously, I work as a medium, so when I can tune in to where people are at, or even where I am at, that has me be in alignment.
When do you know
Right.
you're in alignment?
Yes, but then I'm also so grounded. So when people need something to happen, Natalie, uh, I've got 2 events that I'm trying to cause right now for my kids' school. Then I also get on the ground and I do that. So we have this whole spiritual way of being, and we're in this Rudolf Steiner school. We're also spiritual, we're also connected. And then I struggle when somebody is so introverted and they are.
What about
I,
you? When are
I
you in
say
alignment? When do you
I
know
am
you're in
not
alignment?
navel. I I am not navel gazing. I am making a difference for others. So I don't want to be navel gazing and fascinating about myself. I want to be making a difference for the other people that are out there in the universe. And that's it. Like, I don't want to be considering my thoughts and feelings so much that I'm internalizing and navel gazing. I want to be making a difference for others. I want to be serving others. I want to be helping others.
And does that make you, that is, when you do that, do you feel like you're in alignment?
That lights me up. That
Mhm.
absolutely lights me up.
What about you, Talia? What's your alignment? What does being in alignment mean to you?
And great question, Wendy. Awesome question. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's just a good reflection.
What comes to mind is that before I knew I was, kind of into maybe spiritual things, I guess, like my mum always introduced me to like essential oils and affirmation cards and things like that. So one thing I've been really good at probably my whole life, I hope, is, well, as well as getting into chaos, is getting out of chaos. So finding the things that bring me calm, whether it's essential oils or candles or a rom-com or nice music. And like, I feel like the lengths that I go to sometimes, it's like almost like I've got a little toolkit, which is so awesome that I've linked up with Natalie. So I'm, just having my little tools that I use, and they could be like physical things as well, like breathing, or I learned a tip where you hold on to your wrist to listen to your heartbeat. I had used like those drops or whatever for calming you before, but just all sorts of those things, and just knowing that I have that kind of toolkit available at any time makes me a bit more calm going into any day or any situation, because I know that whatever happens, I can bring myself back to calm if I need to, whatever happens. And it's just really powerful having things that I can do like that. And then I guess on another level, there's the things that I do to bring me joy in life and that give me kind of fulfillment. So that's kind of like a whole nother level, but just at the basic level, those things are really important to me.
I think that's amazing. And I think the key thing there is that toolkit, because then once we've got that on board, we can kind of go forth, go forth into the world, knowing that, of course, we're going to be occasionally knocked about a bit, but what is it that brings us back on track and brings us back into that frequency of self and alignment? So I love the concept of having a toolkit on board and knowing what that toolkit is. So you know what, when like a rom-com's not always useful when you're in a business meeting. But however, you've got your other tools, right? So you've got this variety of tools, knowing these things bring me into alignment. So I love that. Very nice. And so what were you saying, Sarah? You're saying that just that sense of ease is what brings...
well, when I'm feeling calm within me and I don't feel like I've got 150 things to do, and time kind of feels like it's moving with me, and I have enough time to be kind to me and others and not be irritated and pissed off by other people.
And is that something that like just accidentally happens, or have you got conscious tools as well to go, this is what keeps me in that alignment so that I don't get that overwhelm?
I was going to say it's majority accidental. Occasionally taking a breath and a step back, or having that conversation that had to be had, or just doing what feels right. I mean, I've even had a couple of days where I just did absolutely nothing.
Mm.
Or I called in sick one day because I actually just wanted to do my fucking housework.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
and I
great.
don't take sick leave, really. Yeah, so when I'm not feeling overwhelmed is when I know I'm in alignment, but I too suffer from the same thing. I didn't say suffer from. I want to do it all because I want to do it the way I like it, and I want to make other people feel happy, and I want other people to come home after school and work to a nice tidy home. And yeah, I just want to always do stuff. And
Well, one thing we in the week that we shared with the business of being you, right? Remember we had the whole supervisors, and we had the manager, and then we had this GM and the CEO, and that concept of like when we've always in the manager role, then we do get sometimes a bit caught up in the doing and forget about the being and checking in with what is the bigger picture, what is the outcome, what is my intention of doing this. So like say for the creating a lovely home for the family, that's wonderful. And then when we tap back into the essence of self and go, well, what is my intention? Why is this important to me? Why is this important to me? Is this in alignment with my truth? Or am I responding to something within myself, or from a program perspective of that I should be doing this, and I feel better because I'm ticking the boxes going, good, I did what I should be doing. However, there may sometimes be this feeling of the self going, well, this isn't what I would choose. This is the reason I'm doing these things is because I feel like I should, rather than my intention for creating a beautiful home is because I love harmony, and it creates a connection to everybody else, and everybody that comes in feels peaceful, and then we can have this connection at a peaceful state. And so there could be a variety of reasons, like what is your personal intention? Like how does that feed your values and your integrity and your essence and your soul alignment? And if it is completely in soul alignment, what happens then is that we don't get overwhelmed and exhausted. And we do say, look, I'm not coming to work today because I want to have time to myself. And there's no feeling of lack or disconnect in the frequency of that, because we're being in truth to ourselves. Same with the home and things like that. So yeah, I think the biggest thing that I kind of wanted to share in that week that I was talking about that concept, and it's just a way of thinking about it, but coming back all the time of like, what is my essence? What is my truth? And is this a should, or is this is my true desire? This is my true expression of self. And so what we're talking about here is like being a nurturer, being a caregiver, making sure that our contribution lights people up, and we leave people with a sense of nurture and love. There is also an element of, is that coming purely from your soul expression, or is some of that maybe coming from the human condition? And that's, I feel, where it's a good place to see, where's the energy coming from? If it's draining energy, is it in alignment with the truth of who we are? It's just a question to sometimes sit with.
yeah,
Beautiful.
I think, most of the time for me it's because it actually makes me feel good that people feel good being in my home and coming home. And also, Trev works really hard, and so he does contribute more financially, but I contribute more in other ways, and it makes me feel
balanced.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nice.
Yeah, and I like it when we do have a minute to sit outside and have a coffee together, and we're looking at our beautiful garden that doesn't need weeding.
Absolutely.
And
I get it.
when
It's serenity, it's harmony, isn't it?
Nice and tidy, and that makes me feel good. The only time the shoulds come into it is when I've gone and overpromised.
Yeah.
And taken on too much shit, and when I'm doing my day job, which is not my
Mm.
true purpose.
Yeah.
And other people hold me up from doing my job efficiently because they fuck around, and then I'm wasting my time, and then that's not in alignment, because that's just like, get out of my way.
And I think one of the big key things about this whole
Just from one generator to another, I'm loving your languaging. I'm like, don't slow me down, don't get in my way.
And that's the thing about this whole course we've been doing, is take something from all of it. And the concept of it is like, okay, what resonated the most, and what are things that you can truly use? You know, the 5 what was it? What was the term again? The
5 by 5. 5 moments of magic.
Yeah, that's it. You know, and just whatever really grabs you, you go, yeah, I can really use that. But the outcome really is about, like, what we're talking about is a release and reclaim. And it's like, can we come into that empowered state of being, which Nat brought us so beautifully.
So fascinating. Yeah, it's so interesting, isn't it, ladies? And I like the way that the things weave in and out, like when Wendy's talking about the manager, and then she's talking about, you know, the different, there's different words, whatever resonates for you to remember, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter which one. It's like, oh, it's like the visionary, or diving into your why and asking, like, why am I doing this? And what is my vision for this? I feel like you guys can just going to take so many things. The key is not to be overwhelmed by the course. The key is to just grab a few things that you can really hang on to, you know, put them into your backpack or your toolkit, right? And then draw on them. And the key also is just to notice when you do get overwhelmed, and that's classic generator too. I'm not saying other people don't get overwhelmed, but usually the reason you get frustrated or angry, Sarah, I'll talk to you because you're the generator, is because we ask ourselves, okay, I'm getting pissed, I'm getting angry at myself or someone else, usually someone else probably. And it's like, ask yourself, where am I saying yes when I really mean no? In other words, when did I say, sure, I can do that? You know, because I can squeeze it in because I have a lot of energy and I love helping people. Okay, I'll just squeeze it in. And for the manifesting generators, this is half of you. You're half generator. And usually it's running the show, and your manifestor is way down here. The manifestor side of you, your superpower is being present and grounded, but also spontaneous and fun like a child. That's the manifestor side of you. But sometimes you don't feel like you're doing any of those things because you're so busy doing all the things. And all we need to do is bring you into alignment by saying no to more things, and that'll bring you down, and being more present and grounded, or just having more fun. I had a client the other day. She did my True You session, which is a power hour with me, all about human design. And the homework I gave her was, if you walk past a playground, you have to go and swing on the swings. Like, your job is to have more fun when the opportunity presents itself. Like, literally, I want you to get on the swing, like, wee, and swing. She's 70, right? I mean, she's like a fit 70-year-old. But the point is, have more fun. That isn't for everyone, but it's just like, if your generator is running the show, you need to let that child have more fun, or be more present and grounded, which might look like looking after yourself, self-care, self-nurturing. Julia, maybe that's you if you are a manifesting generator, or maybe you're a generator because it's all the go, 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 and I'll squeeze it in and I'll do that and I'll come and sweep your deck, but then I'll go and make soup for this family that's sick. You know, I don't mind. Then you're like, fuck, I'm good.
Yeah, that's it. I just have one question. Are we going to keep this group open so that we can go back through and reread things and watch replays and maybe even chat with each other if things from this course come up a bit later?
Yeah, well, Wendy and I and Deb had a chat the other day. I know you don't know Deb. She works with Karen. And Wendy, you can chime in. We haven't yet decided our plan, but we are going to do an R&R, a release and reclaim, in Tauranga in September. And we were thinking of maybe making this not quite so handheld as what you guys got. You guys were like the first round as such, but probably more like a membership. We haven't really decided. We're tossing around ideas where we would run this again, but it would be more pre-recorded videos. It would be less like, you know,
And would actually open up the portal a bit
And
more.
open it
You'd
up.
get more content. You get all
Yeah.
this content that you're already working with, plus also each person that contributes to the R&R has an opportunity to contribute. Like, you know, we all put in little videos and little extra recordings, so you have access to all of that as well. So yeah, at this stage, what we've got now, you definitely can go back and review what we've got now, and it'll actually even grow.
I would say we haven't decided, but we'll definitely leave it open for like 2 weeks, you know, for you guys. I don't mean open, I mean closed for you guys. And then at that point, you know, we'll decide what we're doing. And we might even invite people in before the R&R event. We'll just got to figure it out. But also, because that was a retrospective thought, we would probably edit some videos if there's anything that someone's like, I don't really want like new people coming in and listening to me talk about, you know, whatever, my to-do list.
I was about to say that. I think some of the things that were shared were possibly because of who was here and the group being quite small.
Yeah. So what we would probably do is either edit them so that it's just the content of what the person presented, or in the next round, when we are literally dropping, I would drop a 40-minute, 1-hour video where I'm just talking about the archetypes and human design, but there's no live interaction. That's going to be more evergreen, you know, going forward, because no one's revealing any personal stuff. But then when we do like a Q&A that like this, maybe we have it in there for a certain amount of time, and then we delete the Q&A, like this Q&A, for example, today. We'll leave it in there for a bit for anyone who couldn't come and for people who want to rewatch it, and then we would delete it. So yeah, so nothing private will be shared, but we're just like, we're not sure what we'll do, but we'll definitely leave it open, Sarah, to answer your question, for the current you guys, the current people, to watch, rewatch, refresh. And then from there, if you want to join our membership, which we haven't planned the price or anything, then that would be really cool. And there'll be more people coming in, but we will sort out the confidentiality in the videos and all that.
Cool.
Yeah. Can I just go back to this sort of soul alignment thing?
Yeah, yes.
It sort of resonates with me, but I struggle with it as well, as to what it actually means. And
when you think of the concept of soul alignment, what does soul mean to you?
Well, the soul's just sort of the inner being.
And what is the
essence.
the essence is a good word for you. Yeah.
But the alignment, I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to be, and I've sort of been trying to think about it. I really like. I'm an introvert on a lot of levels. I really just want to be alone to replenish.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I've kind of forced myself to be an extrovert as well. Because I figured when I was about 14 or 15, I was never going to have any fun if I was this shy kid that never talked to anybody.
Susan, are you Susie? Are you Susie in the Facebook group?
Yeah.
So you're a 2/4 manifesting generator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And remember how I said you're a 2/4. So you're a hermit opportunist. Let me just check if I got that right.
Yeah.
Second level is the hermit and the fourth level is the opportunist. Okay. So basically what you just said is exactly who you are, meaning you are the person that needs your turtle time or whatever, turtle in your shell. That's the hermit. You love to retreat from other people and just do your own thing, pottering around or whatever, like reading a book, whatever, just not having to worry about other people or their energy. And you really require and desire that. So honor it and allow yourself to do it. It sounds like you do it anyway. Other times you want to be the opportunist out there, not schmoozing, but, networking or chatting or being outgoing, like you said, but you need to also honor, you know what? Okay, I'm drained. Like I'm at the party. It's 9 o'clock. I'm done. So here's the thing. You're a manifesting generator. Generators, go, do, help all the people. Manifesting generator, no. Manifesting generator, ebb and flow. So when something lights you up, you go with it, you do it, you have tons of energy, and then you're like, I'm exhausted. Then you have to retreat and replenish. That's a manifesting generator. But on top of that, you're a 2/4. So you absolutely go, and then hermit time, replenish. Like you really have to honor the fact that you're a manifesting generator because you're a 2/4 manifesting generator. Okay, does that make sense? So for you to be in alignment, you need to do both. That's your alignment.
Spent my life for filling it up with doing lots of things for other people, or just, go, and to the point where, I just cannot do
Remember?
anymore.
Yeah.
And I probably haven't spent enough time just being me. And particularly, I think social media and the internet and things is really bad for me on some level, because I know that I just need, I used to be really happy being bored or not having anything to do. And now I feel this need to be doing something all the time as well, even though I don't want to.
Yeah. Okay. One more thing on the manifesting generator, and then I'll leave that alone. Is manifesting generators, you need to give yourself permission to quit, cancel, or recommit if you just don't feel like doing it, even though you said you would. If you just don't feel like going to the party, even though you RSVP'd. Like, that's so important for the manifesting generators. Give yourself permission, and your partner has to give you permission to quit, cancel, or recommit if you just don't feel like doing it. Okay, so that's, and I can see it in your face. You're like, social media. Yeah, just honor yourself, and then you will be in alignment. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a great sort of social media person. It's more the kind of just, there's the
Permission
iPad,
to
I
be
can just
bored.
check this, and I can just do that, and I
Yeah,
can
the
just have a look
scrolling.
Yeah.
at this, and I'll sort that out, and yeah.
Susan,
Yeah.
DM me.
DM me, darling.
DM me, darling. Yeah, DM me,
Yeah.
darling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys see me doing this? You know what I was doing, right? Her generator's running the show, and all she needs to do is say no. No is the new yes. Stop saying yes to yourself or other people, and then just have more fun or be more present. That's the permission to be bored. Now you're in alignment. Yeah.
Susan, that would literally be what came through if I did a session with you as a medium. You would literally get what Natalie just did come through to you.
That's so crazy. That's human design. It's astrology.
Yeah, well, that's definitely on my list, Julia. I just don't have time,
Look at her. I'll book you in October.
I took a photo of your card, and it's like, I'm going to have a session with Julia, but it just doesn't happen because.
But that's the self-care. I want to say something about self-care, guys. Remember when we did the self-care thing, and I'm like, I'm so awesome at nurturing myself. Remember? I'm like, I'm in the hot tub, which, by the way, I had one tonight, and then I washed my hair. I'm in the hot tub. I'm reading my book in the sun, like literally. But the other day I got called out. I was on a call with someone, and she was like, why are you, something about self-care. I'm like, because if I don't do it, nobody else will. So it comes from the place, if I don't look after myself, no one else will. Like this sassy energy. And it's like, that's so true. And I really, and because I'm so resilient, and because I'm so independent, and because I'm so good at taking care of myself, guess what? No one ever offers me a cup of tea, and no one ever folds my laundry and brings it to my room, et cetera, et cetera. So we had this joke in my family a few years ago, which is like, my daughter would be like, Mom, you want a cup of tea? No, I'll get it myself. And then she would say yes to my love. And I'm like, okay. And then now she goes, do you want a cup of tea? And I go, I say yes to your love. Right. Because I was literally, so acts of service. And I'm like, no, I'll get it myself. Like, ooh, don't slow me down. Don't get in my way. I'll choose the tea I want. Ooh, you'll probably give me ginger, and I really want peppermint. You know what I mean? We're so hard to please. So I was like, oh my God, I was kind of skiting about how great I am at looking after myself, which I am. But what's the problem? The problem is that it stops other people from looking after me. So we all have work to do, is what I'm saying. I'm not sitting here going, I'm totally in alignment. I'm like, I need to receive, I need to allow opportunities for other people to step in and support me.
Yeah.
Right. And you know how, I can't remember if I told you guys this, you know how I said, did I talk about how gift giving is my love language? I might've said it to other people. Well, the other day someone said to me, I was like, oh, thank you so much for helping me with my logo for my new matchmaking business. Oh, here's an essential oil. Thank you so much. And she goes, Nat, what if you didn't give me anything? What if you just received my help? And I was like, ooh, right? So for me, practicing receiving is what's going to help me be more in alignment, and less like, why do I always have to do everything myself? That's the frustration or whatever.
Natalie, you're speaking my language.
Okay, you're a generator.
I think she's a generator too.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
I'm
great.
definitely a gift
It's
giver.
so good though. Here's the thing, ladies, to be able to see yourself, even as like Julia's seeing herself in me right now, you know what I mean? To be able to see yourself and own it and be like, yeah, I totally do that. And then it's like, how's that working out for you? Not great. Okay. what could you tweak? It's not, you know what I mean? We don't want to give you 1,000 to-do list items, but it's what could you tweak that's going to make, like, it's that whole thing about it's just a little change, but it makes a massive difference. So we're all on the journey, and we can, yes, keep each other posted in the group and just pop a video in or something whenever you feel inclined. And then when we open it up as a membership, we'll just go through and delete some stuff. So I want you to be able to actually speak freely. And I think that is the most important thing right now. Talia, very interesting. I did the quiz to check and it says generator, even though I feel like I feel like a reflector. Interesting. Not a projector. That sounds like me too. Interesting. It says generator. If you're a generator and you're tired, you shouldn't be. Ask yourself, where am I saying yes when I really mean no? Because if you're exhausted, it's just because you're saying yes to other people's things or demands or requests, and you're out of alignment because you're not only doing what lights you up, you're doing all the other shit that doesn't light you up too.
Can I be a manifesting generator? Because I really
you really want to be
relate
that?
to like the ebbs and flows and
She's like, I really like the
having
sound
to
of
say
that.
no to things. How does that work?
Did you do the quiz and you came out as a generator? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Yeah.
But she doesn't
I
want
don't want to
She
be a
wants to
generator. I want to be a
manifesting generator.
manifesting.
I know. You can also have naps. You can also have your hermit time. Okay, there's more to it than that, Talia, and I can't go into it now, but it depends what your numbers are as well. You know, how I said Susie's like a 2-4 manifesting generator. It's like, the ebb and flow is critical to her, but with the generator, it's different. I'm a 3-5 generator. It's different from a 2-4 generator or 1-6 generator. Yeah.
And I was actually thinking about what you were talking about, like receiving more, because I realized even maybe yesterday that when someone does something nice for me, I feel like I owe them, like I have to give something back, like I automatically give them a compliment. I really struggle to the point where I felt a bit kind of like icky about it, where I was like, why do I feel like I owe people?
Is it self-worth thing? I don't know. Wendy, do you want to answer that? Do you know?
Well, when you feel like you owe people.
I'm a bit of a scorekeeper, so I do that too.
Yeah, I mean, again, it goes into it's again one of those things that we can't just say this is what it is, you know, because it can come from various things, and obviously programming. There's also the big T, little T issues, you know, like what was the childhood like? What were some of the responses to our conditioning earlier on? What was the early programming and all of that sort of thing? So it's all of that as well. I think that the great place to start is what we've been talking about with the human design, because it gives a blueprint or a foundation or understanding of the makeup, you know, like the structure, the basic structure, and there's flexibility in that, and there's lots of other things we can look at as well. However, from there, that is where, okay, how far out of alignment are we? And so what is it that we're not honoring that makes us out of alignment? Like what you're saying with manifesting generator, if I'm always in the doing, I'm out of alignment with my foundational structure. Because if I'm a manifesting generator, I need the ebb and flow, I need the down as well as the doing. So it's a good place to start, and then start to explore a little bit more about, well, where are these behaviors coming from? Where's this pattern coming from? But yeah, it gives, I think what's great is find something, because I work with things like master keys, and there's also other ways that we can look at where am I going to check my alignment. So like say with human design, now I can see what would be me in alignment and where am I not in alignment, and then why is that? That gives you an exploration and a way back, really, a roadmap back.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun in the group. I'll put up a post that says, celebrate, you know, receiving or something, and you guys can comment on it, like whenever you actually receive, like, yes, you may get me a cup of tea or whatever, you know, whatever, big or small, that you receive, like celebrate it, like notice it, but then share it with us, because it also opens us up to receiving more, being able to let other people help us or offer help even more. And interesting also for me, gift giving is one of my top love languages. So like me giving someone something rather than doing something for them, you know, I'm more likely to give them something than like bake them a casserole, because it's just not what I'm going to do, or cook them a casserole. See, I don't even know how to make a casserole. So that comes into it as well.
I want to make a gift station at my house because I love gifts so much. But my focus now is I need to get better at receiving.
Yeah, that's right. Great. And we can celebrate the receiving.
I like that idea.
Amazing. Well, there's our hour done. Does anyone have any outstanding or standout questions that they've got that have come up? I mean, I can see that Susie's written one. I find it hard to move on from old friendships, even when it gets one-sided. I mean, you're probably just a very loyal, loving person, like loyal. Whereas 3-5 generator, we're the breaker of bonds. We're like, fuck you, I'm done. Kind of, we just need to move on. But some people can't so much. I don't know. It's partly personality, but I bet you if you looked into your human design, there would be something there as well. The other one that's really fascinating to look at with your human design is the will center, which is the small little triangle on the bottom right-hand side, kind of near your ribs. That's your will center. And they often say that anyone that has an undefined will center, which means it's white, not colored in, finds it really hard to charge their worth. So they usually undercharge if they're in business, or maybe have a tendency to overgive. Yeah, so that's really quite fascinating. So there's so many things to discover about yourself, but the main thing with this course, as we wrap things up, release and reclaim and revitalize, and what was mine? Reignite. You know, it's all these re's that we've discovered is to really, you know, and right now, this fascinating time as we're coming up to 8/8 Lionsgate and all the energy that's around and all the things is really stepping into, you know, like we talked about, who we truly are. And sometimes you have to release some things in order to do that. I think that we're all on the journey, but let's practice receiving as well as a few of the other things we talked about tonight. We would love your thoughts on how the course has been. If anyone does want to give us like a testimonial, meaning like a one-liner or a little mini paragraph or even a video that you're happy for us to use once, you know, we're going to decide what we're doing going forward, but we're definitely doing an R&R event in Tauranga. So you can do a testimonial about the actual event. It'll be really similar, probably 3 of the same speakers, 2 of them will change out. It's going to be an amazing lineup. And or about the course or both. That would be, we're open to receiving. What more do I need to say?
Cool.
Done.
Yeah.
Yay.
Done.
Amazing. And I'll ask all of the ladies, all of the facilitators, I'll ask them each, maybe just to do one post, like one post each in the group. I don't think we haven't really emailed you guys, but one post each. If they have any specific offer or invitation to you, if you want to receive more help from somebody, we'll get just everyone to do one post with their links and their info. Or you can just private message somebody and ask them. Is that a good idea, Wendy?
Yeah, I think it'd be good for everybody to sort of have like a standard offer so that you guys know what's available to you from here onwards and what speaks to you. And, you know, you could go through every one of them and do a little bit with everybody, or you could choose the one that really resonates and, you know, go through. That's what's also great, to go back over some of the recordings and see, you know, keep deepening it. I think one thing that we said in the R&R day, which I thought was really great and really hit home, and I thought it was a really good reason why we also did the 6-week course, was when we have, like, say, the R&R day, we have this empowering day and there's this amazing movement and we feel so connected and we feel something shifting and we feel like we're setting an intention and we're like really making a statement like, yeah, I'm going to make these decisions. And then one thing was that idea of like, we've created a potential in the field, say, for example, of what could now be. However, if we don't then follow through or actually fill that potential or align with that potential decision or fill that space that we say we're letting go of this, well, what are you going to replace it with? And so that's one thing we've done with this course, is you guys have made the decision to continue to set that intention and to continue to make that commitment to yourself. And so here we are at the end of 6 weeks. It's a really good time to reflect and go, what was my shift? What have I shifted in the last 6 weeks? And have I shifted and really gone on that path of that new potential that I set course to? Or have I dabbled? Have I skimmed over the surface? And really underneath, I haven't made those big permanent shifts. And so this is a good opportunity to reflect, maybe go back, look over the recordings again, and then make a decision. Go, okay, my next real shift and commitment to myself is I'm going to work with that person, or I'm going to do that course, or I'm going to implement that teaching that we did.
Yeah.
Because it does come down to us. Nobody can do it for us, right? And we can keep jumping on a million courses and a million workshops and all that, but every one of these things that we've been covering is enough to change your life forever. It's just that we have to make the decision to implement it ourselves and to set that intention and make the commitment. So we're here for you. We're here to help.
Okay.
And we're on the journey. I started
Yeah.
face yoga a week ago. So
Oh, did you?
more self-care for the
Ah.
queen of self-care over here.
Yeah, great.
I'm going to practice my receiving. I'm going to do that post straight away so you guys can start celebrating your receiving. So I think what we'll do is we'll leave the group up for at least, for 2 weeks. So you don't feel rushed. We don't want you to feel overwhelmed, but you can revisit anything. And at that point, we will have made our plan. And what we'll likely do is open the doors to other people in the lead up to the R&R event in Tauranga. And then we'll let more people in after that. So, basically what I'm saying is we'll be deleting some of the videos, including this one, in 2 weeks' time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Amazing.
you.
Well done for everybody
Good.
showing up
Bye-bye.
tonight.
Good to see
Very
you, everybody.
cool.
Lovely. Mwah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. It's been awesome.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Joe. It was great to have you here.
Lovely to see
Get out
you
of this.
all.
Soon. Leave.
I don't
Very
want to
good.
go.
That's a good sign. We'll have to continue this. To be continued.